Wagwan YouTube, what you saying? It is I, Diligent Fingers, and welcome back to another video. Right now, you're going to get into a track breakdown video taken from my Motion Gang Members Club, which is a Patreon style membership service that I set up back in January. If you want to join the Members Club and get these videos as soon as they come out, just go to www.diligentfingers.uk, go to memberships, pick tier 2 and you'll be able to get exclusive monthly tracks and track breakdown videos like this, plus merch like what I'm wearing now. But until then, enjoy the video. Yes, Wagwan people, what you saying? It is I, Diligent Fingers, and welcome to my first ever track breakdown that I've ever done. And this one's a doozy, especially for the members club. Do you know what I mean? I thought if I'm gonna start doing track breakdowns for the members, I might as well start off with one that is possibly like the biggest track of my whole career, which is my remix of Ray Keith's Chopper. Yeah, I'm excited because I've never actually done one of these before. I'm completely new to the whole process, so I hope all of this goes well and I don't end up rambling on about stuff, and at least people get to understand parts of my process and some of the decision making that went behind some of the choices that I've made, some of the things that I've made within this track. I hope it's of value, because I believe that I don't actually do that much within my tracks. It's all down to vibe, feeling, and just good choices and stuff like that, really. But I could be wrong. Someone could watch this and tell me that I'm doing something wrong, or I'm using something wrong, or whatever it might be. But that's all part of the fun. Do you know what I mean? That's what's amazing about all of this. Happy accidents and doing things that somebody else wouldn't think to do with the resources, the equipment, the plugins and stuff that we've got, the hardware that we've got and stuff, really. So yeah, I'm excited to really get into these. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling and we're going to get into this track. So here it is in its entirety, all 55 tracks. Probably not all. I've not even used all 55. I can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 muted tracks in here. So tracks are within the 40s and that, really. And that's a common thing with me. I don't really tend to use that much. I don't tend to over process things. If I could ever be accused of over processing, do you know what I mean? It's just like, for lack of a better term, I don't use that much processing on stuff. I just try and keep things simple. Anyway, let's get. I keep rambling on. Let's get into this tune. Let's get into it. I was thinking about how to actually start this off and do sections, and what's going to be the most important part to start breaking down first. And now I just thought to myself, let's just go with the flow of the tune. And that, so we've got the intro. So with the intro, the fact that this, I'm remixing a seminal, beloved, and absolutely massive jungle drum and bass track, do you know what I mean? Drum and bass track, was not lost on me. And even when Ray Keith asked me to do it. He had to convince me to do it because I'll admit, I was scared to actually do it. I didn't think I was going to do a good job. I didn't think, especially because I'd done a remix before this one for Ray Keith and he didn't like it. He wasn't feeling it. It wasn't really what he was looking for in terms of a remix. So my confidence was a bit knocked by that. So when he asked me to do Chopper and that, it took a bit of convincing. I felt like it was a sacred tune anyway. The original and the Shy FX remix, the Dirty Chopper, sort of VIP refix sort of thing. It took a lot. It took a lot for Ray to actually convince me to do it. And when I did, I just thought to myself, right, because out of all of the versions, the Shy FX version is the biggest one that everybody knows. But I want to get in the original because the original is the one that everyone, in terms of other people that have done remixes outside of Shy FX, other than Shy FX, they never seem to touch the original. It's always the Shy FX remix that they go for. So I wanted to make a point of incorporating the original remix, elements of the original remix in here, the original version, as well as the one that everybody knows, do you know what I mean, the Shy FX remix, as well as bits of Dirty Chopper, or at least significant parts that I know are also in Dirty Chopper that I can drop into here as well. So if we expand this out a bit more, you can see in terms of the tracks at the top here, it is just the Shy FX remix that I've got. And Chopper itself, because I knew that there's parts in the Chopper, in the original Chopper, that are also in Dirty Chopper and other parts like that. It's mainly the drum breaks that have been used in certain samples, as well as, the whole ladies and gentlemen, the helicopter samples, and things like that. And I wanted the intro to reflect the evolution of the track over the years, if it was possible to do so. And that's why I had the breaks, the sort of the Shy FX helicopter build up, as well as breaks from Dirty Chopper, original Chopper, coming chopping in every 4 bars. And that's it. It's especially this last, drum break fill. I wanted that to be the 4th one, because that's definitely that's the main part of the original that I wanted to make sure that was in there, and that I didn't want it to just be all about Shy FX remix. I didn't really need to, reference the other remixes anyway, because they all used the Shy FX remix to be able to do their remixes and stuff. I've seen that Comrade Subs is coming out with his version, his remix of Chopper soon as well. So it'd be interesting to hear what he actually does with it, But yeah, to start off with, it's literally just helicopter sounds from the Shy FX remix. Drum breaks from the original, drum breaks from Dirty Chopper, the main drop from Chopper itself as being part of the intro, the oh yeah, the yeah yeahs, and that I always felt like that was a very important part of the Chopper tune. I don't really hear that in any other tunes. It's always the Chopper tune that I always hear that in, and as you can see, I've not got any original samples. I'm using, chops from the tracks themselves that I'd bought over the years, because Ray doesn't have the original samples anymore for me to use. So it's almost like I'm doing a bootleg and that, but it's official kind of thing. But I've worked like that before. I come from hip hop culture where it's all about, chopping out the pieces that you need from, the tracks that you're sampling and stuff like that, really. But that's the first part of the intro. And the second part of the intro was introducing the bass sound. The sound that everyone knows, the sound that really caught Ray Keith's attention, and that when it came to this tune. I do love that I was able to figure out this build up to it. It doesn't sound like it's much, you know what I mean? But for me, it was what really introduced and brought the tension into the actual track. And believe it or not, I've got to thank TC, for being able to come up with this sound, because it was a mixture of TC foghorns that I used to blend together to actually come up with the main bass line. I'd bought a TC pack, a TC foghorn pack, looking for new samples. And big up TC for making his packs pretty cheap. They're all like $4.20, $4.99, under £5 or $5 and stuff. Like, big up TC for making things affordable. And that, because normally I'll just look for free sample packs and shit like that, really, and stuff. But yeah, it was a mixture of about 4 different TC foghorn sounds that I'd EQ'd and blended together, and then using Duck to be able to create the movement in each of the tracks. And it's not even, when I actually look at the EQs, it's not even that much EQing that I've done. Yeah, this one's got a bit of a dip, and that really, to be able to blend them all in. So I'm cutting out all the low end from each of them. Some of them have got more mids. Some of them have got more mids in them than others. Some I've taken out the highs to let the highs from the other tracks come through. So it's more about blending the mid ranges and that. But again, like I said before, it's not much. It's not much at all, really, to be able to get to this stage here. And what's creating the sort of movement that is kick. The kick plugin. I've got ghost notes here. If I just zoom this in. So I've got ghost kick notes here that help, that help to keep the movement going when the main kick isn't actually going through. So I'll just get so these as well, so you can hear what the Duck side chaining is actually doing to the sub and the mid basses. Which I think is a wicked way of being able to create extra movement, extra groove in your basses and your sub as well. using other elements, something that's been going on for years. So it's a very standard practice when it comes to music production, especially in electronic EDM music production, dance music, so to speak. But yeah, it's something that I'll admit for the longest time I didn't really understand sidechain and how to use a compressor to implement sidechain, until the last few years, out of the last 20 years that I've been doing this. It's only like, say, the last 6-7 years that I've really started to like learn and understand a lot of the elements that I've just been putting into tracks. Do you know what I mean? Or scared to put into tracks because I don't understand them enough for years, really and truly, and stuff. So yeah, because I'd come up with the drums, the actual drum pattern. So let's get these drums in here as well. Talk about the drums, because it's the drums that's the driving force, and then encourages the groove and the movement in everything else, like the subs and the mid basses and stuff. But the drums, I'd always wanted to like make a drum pattern, a drum break that had a kick that was just more on a 3/4 sort of swing than the 4/4 sort of swing. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Do you know what I mean? And that, like, and keep it rolling. I've used it, again, I've used this drum break in a lot of tunes, a lot of my tracks, because I just feel like it's a solid one, and there's nothing wrong with reusing a break that you've made and you've come up with, because it's solid, because all of the elements are cutting through in the frequencies that you need them to. Nothing wrong with reusing breaks, and that is something that we do within the culture anyway. How many times has the think break been used, the amen break been used, rejigged and remixed and stuff like that? It's common practice and stuff. So, and I really like this. I really like the swing that it has, each of the elements. And what I love about this is that it sounds so glued together, but it's all individual elements taken from different places. Again, hip hop culture, sampling records, chopping out different snares, different kicks from all different types of songs and beats and stuff like that to try and make something new. It's just nice. I thought it's something different, especially for like the chopper tune, and also being able to incorporate, breaks that have been used in the original chopper tune as well. And what I've done here with the circles break is I've used duck and sidechain the snare to this, and that again for mixdown purposes as well. So then the snare's coming through nice and clear, but it just adds it. It does enough for you to hear it and recognize it, but it's not quite the full circles break. Because of that dip with the snare, you don't get the full impact. If I take duck off, if I take the sidechain off, do you know what I mean? And then some really harsh, really aggressive EQing, because it is only the highs that I want. I don't want the rest of the track. I don't want the rest of the break clashing with the drums in the rest of the track. it's really high, really aggressive, EQing most of the highs. So we've got it side chained to the kick and the snare. And gives it that extra groove. Yeah. And then we've got the snare side shaded as well. A bit of stereo widening, stereo imaging with wider. And a little bit of reverb just to give it that shimmer and shine over the top of everything else when it comes to the drums. And so that's how all that comes together, you know. The sub, in terms of the sub, woo. This is why I've been drinking coffee, to avoid yawning. Terrible, but we're going to leave that in. But the sub was made using my trusty ES2 synthesizer with my Dilly 808 sub preset with a few adjustments to make it a bit more thick and stronger and less like an 808, even though there's still elements in there. And then we've got some Szechuan sauce saturator. Just give it a bit of extra oomph. Some EQ. Not much EQ though. Taking out all of the sides because it's a stereo synth. Really, I should use bass lane to get rid of the stereo width and make it more mono, but I didn't have that at the time. And then on the end, I've got this leveling tool that, I can't use anymore. Even though it's coming up in here, I can't actually use it anymore because just plugins and updates and compatibility and M1 silicone and all that kind of stuff. Even though it's right here, you can see it. It's come up for some reason. If I have to open up another project and want to actually select this leveling tool plugin again, I can't do it and stuff. Although I realise what this is actually an emulation of. It's an emulation of the LA2A compressor, tube compressor, which I've got a sort of hardware clone of it right here, as well as getting the original LA2A plugin that this is based off, as you can see. Albeit that the leveling tool has got a lot more functions like the attack release, ratio, dry wet and stuff, which the original doesn't actually have. But you know, I don't actually need that anymore. I can start putting this on basses and getting them popping out as well and stuff. But that's what I used for the sub. And then in terms of the mid basses, the main things that you hear, I think I've got them all in the group. Yes, I do. So each individual track that you'll see here is literally just EQ, side chaining, and that this one a bit of tempo, make it a bit different so it's not just a dry sound. I mean, that was supposed to solo that, but it didn't. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine, just so that you could hear the difference. But there's not much at all in terms of what I've done on the individual tracks. Again, I've used tempo, distortion, just to bring out a bit more, change it so it's not just a dry sample that I'm using, even though I am blending them all. And then it's going into a bus that you can see here on the left hand side, which has got another EQ. And this is the Pro Q, the FabFilter Pro Q2 EQ. I mean, I am going to be getting the Pro Q3. I've not been able to afford it yet, but I am going to be getting it. I didn't see the point at first because I didn't think there was that many, additions and changes or improvements that was worth me spending the money on the upgrade. But now I've seen it in action. I've seen what it can do. Like, yeah, I'm going to be getting it soon. I've just not been able to afford it yet, just yet. But as you can see, yeah, rolled off the low end, rolled off a bit of the high end in general. That little bit of mid-side EQ, taking out the mids, leaving the sides, a little bit in the middle, just a touch. And that's it. Some saturation with the leveling tool compressor. And that, so I can sort out those peaks. There's nothing like completely peaking with the leveling tool. And then some extra saturation with Logic's stock overdrive plugin, which seems to just limit things, just gives everything that extra bit of oomph, but also limits things as well. It's almost like camel fat, but with less functionality, because it's just an overdrive, like saturation distortion tool, distortion plugin, and that. But I swear by this now. Big shout to Cabin Fever from Natty Dub Recordings, like, for getting me onto this, because this is just stock in Logic, and I didn't use it for ages. I didn't even know about it. I didn't even know what it was, even though it's called overdrive. All the years that I'd used Logic, until I think it was a few months before making this tune that I got introduced to this overdrive plugin. I use it on a lot of stuff now, a whole lot of stuff. And as you can see, I've not pushed the drive. The tone is all the way up. I've literally just put it on. Normally it comes with the tone up about there. I just put the tone up. The drive is normally up by about, say, 6 dB. I bring the drive down, and it just seems to give everything that extra bit of punch. Just standard. It just gives everything that extra bit of punch. And if I want more drive, if I want more saturation from it, I've got room to be able to do that still, because the drive is on 0 and stuff. So yeah, man, I don't exactly understand what it's doing and that, and why it's doing it. I know what it's doing. I don't know why it's doing it, but I love it. It just sorts everything. Well, not everything, but it sorts a lot of stuff out when it comes to giving things drive and punch and that extra bit of loudness, So yeah, man, overdrive, leveling tool. That's it on the bus. That's literally it on the group bus. Nothing more. It's crazy. Now that I've talked about all of that, which is the majority of this tune, it's mad actually thinking about it, how little I've actually done. Sometimes less really is more, because as we get into the second part, which would normally be the switch in typical drum and bass tracks, all I did really here was just use the fact that there's different samples that I put together you know, to create different textures or to make it feel like the track now has different textures and a different energy. Do you know what I mean? All I've done here is muted one of the samples and stuff, so you can hear that's the main bottom part of, you know, the main low end part of the mid bass. And then I use another foghorn, which is this one, this sound. But this has also been transposed down, so it's not got that original texture to it. And that because of the, you know, artifacts and the stretching, it's not as gritty as the other sounds that I've used, which I've used to my advantage, basically. So when you put these together, do you know what I'm saying? And then I can also use that as a melody, as a way of like adding more melody. I can use that sound in transposing as a way of adding more melody. So that's 1919. Here's the original sound. And you can hear there's a bit of grit because it's not been transposed up or down. So that's the original key that it's supposed to be in. And you can hear the difference. Do you know what I mean? Like, as soon as I heard them, I thought, right, I can use that to my advantage and stuff. Because all the first one is first sound. And is that transposed in any way? Nope. Is this one transposed? Nope. So it is just those two. Yeah, man. And it's only one step that it's been transposed by as well. So again, really simple.
Now ready to take off.
Using fills. I've got a shout out. Repulsive bass. I've got a shout out the Blade Runner pack for the distorted 808 fills. You know, don't be afraid to use samples out of sample packs, man. Sounds out of sound packs. Do you know what I mean? And sorry, that's me making a conscious effort to call sample packs sound packs, because that's what they really are. If these things are purpose built for you to use, then you're not sampling anything. You're using sounds that have been purpose built for the medium that you're in, the music that you're trying to produce. Sampling is when you're taking something that is not from your area, your realm, and taking a piece out of it. Not something that, you know, that piece has not been purpose built for your production. But again, that's me coming from hip hop culture. That's my interpretation and therefore definition of sampling and stuff. Anyway, mad tangent. I digress. But that's that bass fill. Distorted 808. Can't go wrong with a distorted 808 bass fill. You know, cannot go wrong with the distorted 808 bass fill. What was the other fill that I had? It's these two. Yeah. So these two bits. And these are actually, yeah, this is out of the TC Foghorn pack as well. Oh. And all I've done is got that one, transposed it up by 6 semitones, and this one by 7 to create that melody, and it won't sound like the normal TC foghorn bass because of the transpose. With the transpose, as you heard with the other foghorn bass that I used, it takes out a lot of the grit depending on how much you transpose it, and you can just change it and change the sound into a completely different sound with the transpose. And that, yes, there's artifacts that you can end up getting with transposing. Yes, you can lose a lot of the quality of the sound, but if you already know that, if you already have that in mind, and that you can use those things to your advantage. And that got a big up Salvage, sorry, and that just for suggesting. How did I have it? I think I had it like this before. I think I had it like that, and he suggested to make it a bit quicker. And that, so big up Salvage. Excuse me on that suggestion. But yeah. What else can I break down? Oh, these edits. The 16 bar edits.
Now ready to take off.
That's actually an edit for the VIP. Which I might do a breakdown of next time. The VIP remix, even though Ray Keith has called my remix the VIP remix, even though it's not a VIP of the remix, I have actually done a VIP of the remix, which that break, that
Now ready to take off.
that actual edit is a part of and stuff. But again, using different elements of the Shy Effects tune, and then using slow down function with the fade in Logic. Do you know what I mean? To get that effect.
Now ready to take off.
And then also using different parts of the breaks as well.
Now ready to take off.
As well as the vocal, getting the vocal chops in there. And that really. But yeah. And just finding a good flow with it all.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention.
Some good uses of delay, reverb. You know, just trying to just get a good flow with everything that I've got, so it feels cohesive. Sorry, you know, everything feels like it's supposed to be there. The glue, as it were, gluing the whole track together, and that's where like sound effects come into it and stuff. All of this stuff in the intro, basically reusing that, adding some extra elements. You know, the crashes. Impacts, some reverse vocal sound effects. Does it need to be that much either? You know, what was this here? First symbol. Gotta get the sirens in there.
Ladies and gentlemen, for takeoff, so please fasten your seatbelt.
It's mad because I'm actually surprising myself, even though I made the track. I'm actually surprising myself with how little I actually did to get to this point. But sometimes that's how it goes. Sometimes this is literally how it goes. And that really. But yeah, that is the majority. That is more or less everything. That is more or less everything in the track that I did. You know? I am proud. I can't lie, I'm proud of what I've done. I'm very happy that Ray really liked it, and it's ended up doing what it's done, and I got the response, from people, but also people understanding what it is that I was trying to do with like the intro, Yeah, man, I just hope that this has some sort of value. Do you know what I mean to you lot? If you want, let me know in the comments, if there's anything else you would like me to break down in the tune, like how I process the drums all together and things like that. I don't think I went through that, but again, it's not really that much. I wouldn't say it's really anything, mind blowing or anything like that. But if you feel like there was anything that I missed in this video, because I kind of want to save time, I don't want this to be too drawn out or anything, unless you guys let me know, that you don't mind long drawn out hour and a half, 2 hour videos, really getting into the nitty gritty. I suppose with this being my first breakdown video, there's me trying to find that balance of it being engaging and interesting, but not too long that I'm losing your attention and stuff, you know. But any feedback, anything at all that you would like me to go in depth a bit more and all that kind of stuff, just let me know in the comments below. And thank you for watching. Thank you for becoming a member and being part of the Motion Gang Members Club. I really do appreciate the direct support. It means the world to me. And that, I think I'm going to set up a poll for the next track breakdown that you would like me to do for next month in February. And we can go from there, and I'll get that recorded for you as soon as possible and stuff. But yeah, man, thank you for watching. Thank you for being a member. Again, I hope you find value in this. Again, if there's any feedback, if anything more that you would like me to do in terms of these types of videos or this video specifically, let me know down in the comments. And that, and yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing week. Take it easy, take care of yourselves, take care of your mental health, because good mental health is wealth. As always, blessings to you all.